everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sophisticated Bogan. Adam here. So we're going to try and get this engine sorted. It still may be having to go to a mechanic shop to get pulled apart, but there is other things that I can do that might save me having to do that, because it's probably going to cost me a fortune. So the idea is that what we do is take off all these, and also take off the ones that I've done on the back as well for the exhaust. So that, and then what we do is we hit it with compressed air to get all the water out. And then the other trick, this is an old school trick that you do with car engines, so I don't know how well it's going to go with a bike engine when you've got a gearbox that's part of it. So yeah, get all the water out that I can with the compressed air, and yeah, and then you put kerosene down into the cylinders. Oh, actually, sorry, before that, take the sump plug off to drain anything else out. I mean, this engine's already been drained of oil, so I didn't really need this. So yeah, so get anything else out that I can, and then put kerosene down into the cylinders and let that sit overnight, maybe even over 2 nights, and then drain that out. The kerosene grabs the water and pulls it through. So that is my goal, but as I said, but yeah, like as I said, it's probably going to have to go to a shop. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Depending on how much it is, I'm going to have to save up, so this bike build is going to take longer. All comes down to getting the engine sorted out. Once the engine's sorted out, painted back into the frame, I can actually start putting so much stuff back on. Like, I've got all these parts. All these things are ready to go onto the bike. Like, you know, all this stuff is all ready to go, and it's just because of the water issue. If it wasn't for the water issue, this video wouldn't be about fixing the engine. It'd be about, you know, getting it back into the frame, or probably already be back in the frame, and yeah, putting everything on. So alright, so we'll crack on to this, and yeah, we'll try and resurrect it. Okay, so I've gotten all the water out of the top now. Just taken off the covers for the inlets and the exhaust. Hopefully we can get this all out. So next, I'm going to take the spark plugs out, and then I'll be shooting air through the inlets, and hopefully it'll get the water out. Now I suspect cylinder 1 and 4 ain't going to, yeah, very easy to undo. We get 1 and 4 out at the moment. As I said, I'm not an engine builder. But yeah, I was hoping the valves might be a little bit open or something, like exhaust valves or inlet valves. Right. The other way is to turn it over. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the kerosene, try and get it drained out, but it's probably still, I'm going to have to take this to a shop, no doubt. It's beyond my scope. If I had a service manual, I'd be able to be less stressed, but I can't seem to get one. The only service manual I can find is for an older Windows, so it doesn't work on my laptop. And at the moment, I can't seem to find an actual service manual itself anywhere either. Oh, these old bikes. So this will get picked up again. We've got Easter coming up, so there's going to be some public holidays, so the shops aren't like bike shops aren't going to be open. So it's Thursday today. I've been trying to get in touch, but you know, it's a public holiday tomorrow, so they're probably extremely busy. We'll pick this back up again probably in a few days. I don't know for you guys, it's just the next bit of the video, but we'll pick it up in a few days. Once I've been able to have a chat with a bike workshop. Alright, I'll pick this up then. Alright, so I've spoken, well, there's a bit of time in between from the last bit of this video to this bit of this video, but I've spoken to a bike mechanic. It's not as bad as what my brain was making me think that it was going to be. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to get the starter cover off and turn the engine over. So just behind here is the this is where the crank goes through. So that'll be able to then move all the pistons up and down, you know, get the water out of the top. Those two were fine, so I'm just gonna, so I don't want to get anything in there, so we're going to just cover them up for the moment. And yeah, pump out and try and get as much water out. I've got Cole the compressor ready to go to blow out as well as while I'm pumping it out, so that way I can blow it away and try and get it gone. Alright, so let's crack onto that, shall we? We'll get this starter cover off and yeah, see the size, exactly what size socket I need for that. Also, for doing all the bolts, as you can see here, I've done like a little rough sort of drawing of the starter cover, and I've numbered all the bolts so that each bolt goes into its corresponding hole. That way then they all go back into the same place on the starter cover. Now I've got another gasket coming for this, but I'm still waiting for it to arrive, so temporarily I'll be putting the starter cover back on with the way the gasket is and everything, but once the new gasket's here, then I can take that off and then clean up the surfaces and put a new gasket in there. And then yeah, we'll get it all tightened back up again, or buttoned back up, and yeah, put the new spark plugs in as well. Once I've got everything out, I'm going to drop a little bit of oil down each cylinder, each spark plug hole, and then put new spark plugs in, obviously with copper grease on there. You know, you need to put anti-seize on spark plugs. A lot of people don't. These kind of engines, you've got to look after them anyway, so you've got to do the right things. A bit easier with old school cars and stuff, but yeah, anyway. Alright, so we'll get onto that, get the starter cover off, and we'll crack on from there. Alright. I think it might be a good idea to check over all these bolts, because these are real easy to undo. I think I'm going to have to go over this engine. I probably should have anyway, but I'm going to have to go over all bolts, everything, to make sure that they're all done up properly, because these are super easy to undo and they shouldn't be. Alright, so we've got all those bolts all in the same pattern that they would have been on here. So all marked out, all numbered out. Alright, let's get this starter cover off. Okay, so we've got the starter off, starter cover off. So yeah, still recording? Great. Alright, here goes nothing. maybe leave this overnight. Okay, so it doesn't seem to be, like I've looked in the little window well, which is just down in there. There doesn't seem to be any water in here at all. So don't worry about those drips, that's just the oil coming out that I put down into the spark plug holes just to lube up the pistons a bit, because I haven't had anything in there. So yeah, they're just coming out the exhaust ports, which is fine. I'm just going to let it sit overnight and we'll get onto this again in the morning. Alright, on to the next day. Alright, so now we're up to just going to quickly get this all masked off. Just go over the bin again and a couple of other spots to mask up, and then we'll get on to sanding this sucker and get it painted and get it finished so that I can get it put back into the bike. Alright, let's crack on, shall we? Alright, so we've got the primer down, just letting that flash off. It's better than it was, but I mean better than it was before I had OCD and touched it again. But yeah, at least it's not all going all wrinkly like before, so that's a bonus. This means I'll be able to get the paint down, fix up some spots, and then yeah, move on. Let this thing bloody dry. So I've been thinking, I've been thinking. Anyway, so I'm going to get this engine done and ready. Hang on, I'm going to get this engine done and ready, but it's not going to be in this video that it goes back in the bike because I want it to cure. I've been trying to rush things because I've been trying to get everything in and been just going flat out, just trying to fix stuff, and yeah. So because of the hurdles we had, it's going to be in the next video that the engine goes back in the bike. As I said, we're going good now, so at least I'll be able to get this thing painted, let it cure, unmask everything of course. Yeah, so there's still going to be more to paint on it once it's back in the frame, like for underneath the engine and stuff, but you know, it'll be 98% painted. It'll be just those little bits to fix up. Oh, fun times. Alright, so I'm just letting this flash, and then yeah, I'll put some black down and that'll be the engine pretty much done. Alright. Okay, so that is the engine done. So that'll all dry off to a satin or a matte, or more of a satin really, if you can see it on there. So, alright. I'm just glad that it's finally all worked out, because it's been driving me bonkers. Alright, so I'm going to finish this one up here, people. So now that we've got the engine ready to go, it's just got to cure, let it flash off and cure, all that jazz, and then in the next video for the bike we'll be getting that engine in. Finally, yeah, this has been taking forever. Yeah, I really need to ride it too, so it's been driving me bonkers. But alright, so if you like what I'm doing, you know, if you have any ideas or suggestions or you know, comments that you'd like to throw in there, chuck them down underneath the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, don't forget to hit like. Really helps me out, gets the channel out there in front of other people, and that's what I really want to happen with this. I've been doing this for a year now, so I want to make sure that I can do it for many more years ahead, but I won't be able to do that unless I can get more subscribers, likes, comments, all that jazz, so I can get in front of as many people as I can. Who knows, maybe one day I'll even get a sponsor. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.